Hey guys, it's Kristen, and I am doing a mid-homeschool year reading check-in. I'm going to look at this two ways, and one of them kind of contradicts what I just said. But first, we're going to look at how we did in reading for the year of 2018. I showed you an earlier video about our family reading journal. See? Reading journal. And this was the first year I really started tracking our reading progress, so I'm really excited to go back and look and see how we've done. Who am I kidding? I've already looked and I'm proud of how we did. So let's go back. So we read, I started keeping track, my first book was August 2017. So I'm going to take out all the 2017 reads, and that takes me 1 through 10 were in 2017. So I'm going to start with number 11, and the last one I have is number 56. So I have to take 10 away from 56, 46. There are 5 not completed in here, so we are at 41. That means we read 41 books in the year 2018. That's pretty good. That's 41 read-alouds or audiobooks, which I'm going to count as a read-aloud. I necessarily didn't read it, but it's a read-aloud. So 41 books. 41 books now. Maybe 8 of those are Mercy Watson style books, so they're only about 100 pages, but they're still longer than a sit-down picture book, take more than one day type thing. So let me go through and quickly tell you what all we read. Nah, I'm not going to do that. You don't want to hear 41 titles. So what I am going to tell you is that my goal for next year is 50 books. For 2019, I want there to be 50 read-alouds. Now, at the back of my reading journal, I think I told you I keep track of what Lily's read by herself. I didn't start taking track of that until January of 2018. So everything I have written down, she read in 2018. And some of the books started out fairly easy. Bink and Golly, Princess in Black, Princess in Pink, some of the longer Berenstein Bear style books, Pinky Dinky Doo, Bunnicula, Paddington, those style books. And Lily has read 58 books on her own in 2018. 58 books, and they're not like super large books. In fact, I think I wrote down some of them. Like back in May, she read a book that was 111 pages. It was a Magic Treehouse book. I wrote down how many pages it was because I was proud of her at that moment. But now she's reading books like the 13th Story Treehouse. That was 340 pages. So she is reading longer books now. And she reads on her own. She goes up and she's like, hey, I read 3 chapters. Can I get on my tablet or whatever? And I didn't ask her to. So I'm really proud of her. Now, starting in November, Lila has showed interest and ability to read to herself. So I have a page for Lila. She's only read 7 books, but that's been in less than a month pretty much. So proud of her. So that's our reading. I have a kitty, so they're all over the place. That's all I'm going to show you out of this, but what I want to do now is compare what was on my very first video, which was my read-alouds for 2018-2019, and see how we did. Now, before I pulled this out to prepare for this video, I would have told you that we rocked it. We did great. I had 18 books, and I know I read books that weren't on our list, but I would have told you that we did great. Now that I've seen it, I don't think so, but we'll see. Okay, so we read Penderwick's at Last, Redwall, The Rescuers, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, The Great Mouse Detective, Mary Poppins. These were all books that were on my list at the beginning of the year for us to read. I had 18, so I just showed you that we read 6 of them. Now, we read a couple books that weren't on the list. I don't have a copy of it because it was an audiobook, but in September we read Around the World in 80 Days. It was our book that we read on the way to Disney World. We read a book on the way back, but I can't remember what book we read. I don't know if I wrote it down even. Anyway, I'll think about that. In October, I added The Little Leftover Witch because it's our Halloween read. I also added What Was the Boston Tea Party because we were learning about that. In November, I added the Indian in the Cupboard and Little House in the Big Woods. And in December, I added The Best Christmas Pageant Ever and A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We also have read other books in there that didn't fit with our, you know, necessarily the monthly theme. Like we read How to Train Your Dragon. We read, I guess I didn't write down what we did. I will have to ask my husband what we read on the way back from Disney World. But that's what we've read. So we read an additional 6 books, and then 7 if you count How to Train Your Dragon, which just was a fun one in there. And I said in that video that I reserve the right to add books because I'm kind of fickle like that. Plus, I remember things I'm like, oh, I wanted to read that book. I want to read that book right now, or something comes out. Or my next video I'm going to post is a unboxing of the family reading crate, or maybe it was the one I posted, I don't know. So, a family reading crate, and those throw wrenches in my plans. So last thing I'm going to show you is the books that are on my list that I have left. Alright, these are the books I was going to show you that we still have left to read, and they are still all on the docket. Okay, so I have Bedknobs and Broomsticks, The Last of the Really Great Wang Doodles by Julie Andrews. Where's that one? The Black Star of Kingston and Ember Falls by S.D. Smith. Pippi Longstocking, Tuesdays at the Castle by Jessica Day George. Half Magic by Edward Eager, so sorry, Edward Eager. The Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Burtman, and The Gauntlet by Karuna Riaz. Riazi? I don't know. Those are all on the list, so that is 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The other 2 that are on the list that I don't have with me because I have them in my homeschool group stuff is the complete works of Hans Christian Andersen and the complete Grimm's Fairy Tales. Those are still on the list. I'm just trying... Shh, Lucy, stop. I'm just trying to find... Here, I'm going to show you what's going on over here. So the kitty has gone into my new bookshelf and is hiding behind my books, and the baby, look, see it popped out right there. So she's a little too excited to keep quiet about it. Okay, the last thing, I think I said last thing a minute ago. Oh well. These are books I know that we have added and will accomplish. The Family Under the Bridge. It was a Christmas read that we didn't get to, but it's still Christmas break right now, so I'm going to try to read it before we go back. A Long Walk to Water by Linda Stupart, and Maybe by Caroline Starr Rose. Those are 2, this one was just a Christmas read. These 2 are books that I'm teaching in a book club class that I'm teaching, and I will read them out loud with my kids at home as I prepare for the class, even though none of my kids are in that class because it's for high school kids. There are more books as well because Lily's in a book club and we listen to those books on audio, and she will have 4 books for that co-op. What's it called? Winn-Dixie. Something Winn-Dixie. Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. Harriet Tubman and the Freedom Train, Harriet the Spy, and By the Great Horn Spoon. Those are the 4 books Lily will have. We have these 2, and then I'm going to be adding 2 more. However, I think those are ones that are too old for my kids, so we won't read those. And then in my little kid book club, I teach the big kid book club and the little kid book club, and then Lily's in the middle kid book club, and I don't teach that. But in my book club, we will read out loud The Borrowers. So lots of reading to be done. I'm super excited about it. It's not daunting to me. It makes me happy, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope it gives you ideas of what to read. If you ever want to talk about reading or a series or anything like that, I'm your girl. Catch you next time.